Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
I have a game that we
Okay.
should play in the beginning.
Okay.
And the game is, do you know Schere, Stein, Papier?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
So whoever wins get to ask the first question.
Okay.
Okay.
Schnick,
Schere,
schnack,
Stein,
schnuck.
Papier. One more.
Schnick,
Schere, Stein,
schnack,
Papier.
schnuck.
Schere,
Schnick,
Stein,
schnack,
Papier.
schnuck. I win?
Yes, you win. You
I
ask
get
me a question.
Okay, I ask you a question. How come you're doing podcast?
Such a deep question. I actually had the idea to make a podcast for a very long time. I had a podcast about my spiritual travels, about my spiritual awakening, but I did 3 episodes. So then I was like, nah, I'm bored with this. that's me and my personality. And so before I came on this trip, I was like, I want to know the stories of women. I think that was like the main message for me. And then I was like, okay, but I don't want to put pressure on it. I don't want to, make it in a structured way, and just like I'm gonna have 10 episodes and all of this. I want it to be like free flowing. So actually me coming here and realizing like, oh, this is a hostel and we have really cool people. We have very nice women. I could actually start this. I could actually do a podcast, and ask about the stories of women and meeting you and meeting Raquel and others, like I got so inspired. It was so interesting to know that we've all gone through very similar things in our lives, and it's just different ways of handling it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got very like, enlightened of like, wow, this can actually happen with a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I am, and I want to keep it light. I want to keep it fun, like super easy. And let's see what happens. Maybe we can go off into the world and you find some women that you want to interview, and I do, and then Raquel, and we just spread this word of like, oh, let's get to know our stories, let's get to share. So yeah, thank you for being here, part of the story sharing. I always saw myself as a story witnesser or a story holder. Like when I was, for example, at home, my parents or my grandparents, actually my grandmas as well, but also like a lot of people from my family would come to me and share their stories, and it was not necessarily me asking, but they were just sharing. They were like, oh, so I have to tell you how it was in the war, and all these things. And I was like, wow, I recognize that I bring something to the table, which is this kind of like the witnesser of stories and the holder of stories. And I'd love to hold space for your story today. So, my dear Archie, I guess my first question would be, if you look back at your life in 2018, let's say 2018, 27, 2018, 2019, how is it different from now? I'm sure many things changed.
Yeah. 2018 was a good year. I was being a dentist. I was feeling really, it was the first time in my life I earned like money, which I could put aside. I felt independent. In 2017, I broke up with my the partner I had back then, and I felt really free. I was like, really, okay, now I'm exploring the world, don't be in a relationship. And being with friends I met in the town I moved newly in. Yeah, I feel really good and confident. Like I said, went on vacation and stuff, and yeah.
What were you doing by then? What were you working? What was, because you mentioned that you started to make money. Like, how are you making money?
Yeah. I'm a dentist. And I started dentistry, and then I started working in 2016. There it started slowly to get the first income, but in 18 I have changed my workplace to a nice workplace where a lot of surgery was happening, and I could do a lot of things how I would like to do it. No one told me how to do it, and so I could really be creative. And also, I had started that patients were coming more and more, and the family were coming more and more, and through that also my earnings got better. Yeah. I was specialized and was using the specialization. So all of this made my life really secure, which was a big goal in my life, to have a secure life. Back then, my parents, they came from Sri Lanka. They were like refugees and had no money. And it was also always my mom. She was a nurse back then in Sri Lanka. But when she came here, she missed the opportunity to do it because she chose to take care of us. But then she came into this, she had no education proper, and she went like, she worked hard to get money. And that's why she was really putting us to learn and become something. Yeah, ideally a doctor. That's what doctor, engineer, lawyer, that's what they say you should become. And I actually wanted to be I actually wanted to be an artist, but I thought, okay, I won't make money by being an artist. It's going to be tough. So, okay, let's do medicine. It's nice. And then I ended up in dentistry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more for a secure reason rather than I love being a dentist.
Yeah. I can actually relate to that because of, I also have, my father is also a doctor. So when you come from, parents that are doctors, they would love, for you to continue that lineage,
Sure,
and so did you actually feel the pressure that you had to do this line of work because of your mom or because of like this pressure, or was it like your decision as well?
It was a bit tricky. At one point, I thought it's my decision to becoming a doctor. I wanted to become a doctor, but my marks were slightly too bad for becoming a doctor, so I went to dentistry. So it was the first thing was like, okay, normally I would like to have the full spectrum of dentistry. So I thought I really want to become a doctor. But looking now on it, it feels like it was the dream of my mom. It was like the desire to have a stable life, to earn money, be secure. So I think these have been the reason why I choose it at the end. Because if these insecurities never had been there, I think I would chosen something more creative and something with art. So I think the big reason why I did it is to be secure and independent on my own. Because I saw my mom struggling, my dad wasn't there here and then, and she was struggling a lot. She was raising us and at the same time trying to get money for us. So I was seeing her and I was like, no, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be dependent. I don't want to be, I want to be independent. I don't want to be dependent on a especially man. Yeah. And so I think I changed my desires into a career where no one can hurt me, harm me. So these were the reasons.
The inner child that doesn't want to be hurt.
No.
And how do you relate to this job now? Like, do you still do it? How do you feel about it now?
I was working a lot and I was working a lot of hours and I was seeing like, oh, it's getting tiring. And I had this feeling of I'm not good enough also when I was working. So I put a lot of passion and like emotions to that the patient who I treated feel really good with me. A lot of patients had fears, so I tried to take the fears and I was really, really into them having a good time, which made me, on the same time, I felt it was exhausting because now I recognize that I did it because I wanted to be acknowledged by them and somehow get love by the work I'm doing, that they are satisfied. So, but because I do it from this perspective, it was really tiring. So when I was coming home, I couldn't talk to anyone. I was exhausted.
Wow. How did this awareness come? You know, like when did the switch happen that you realized, wow, I'm acting in this way, you know, which is a little bit unconscious.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to receive validation or love, or, you know, that's why I'm giving the care. When did this happen to you, this switch of like,
okay. When I started to go to therapy.
Oh, yeah. When was that?
It was in 2000. It was after Corona. It must have been 2022. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't go to therapy because I was feeling this. I went to therapy because I had relationship issues with my partner back then. He had commitment issues. And I was like, okay, you have to see a therapist so we can work on our relationship because you seem to be the problem. But when he started going to therapy, I recognized, oh, I have some issues too because he started developing and changing. And yeah, then I saw, okay, I'm also like not open, and I really quickly close up if I felt hurt. Like I felt hurt every time he said he wasn't sure if he want to be with me. So I closed up, but still was pointing on him and saying, "Oh no, you're the problem. You should go to therapy. If you open up, I can open up." So yeah, that's was because of the relationship, but the therapist also mirrored me how I function. And he said a really, yeah, he said something really striking. He said, I'm a beggar. I'm like a beggar. And I'm like, no, what? No way, I'm not a beggar. Yes, you're begging for love. I was like, no, I don't do that. I'm just nice to my patients. And no, you're a beggar. And it was like, I felt, yeah, how do you say? First, I felt
like the shame.
Offended. And then, but the more I took it in, the more I was like, yes, I do. I'm begging for love by like, I want to make a really good treatment on you, or I want you to feel no pain during the session, dentistry session. So yeah, I recognize I do that, and I have this smile. I had this smile. I was smiling all the time to give the people a good feeling that I'm listening, that I'm really curious. But it was this frozen smile I had all the time. And this was the first time when he was mirroring me that I felt like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. And during the therapy, I witnessed and learned that I don't have to have the space. And still, or even it's better because I'm authentic and I have more connection to the people. And it feels less tiring because I don't have to put on this mask. So yeah, that's the where it shifted.
Where it switched. That's very harsh. It's very brutal, you know, super like, direct.
Yeah.
But I think like we sometimes need that.
Yeah.
Especially if we've been wearing masks a lot, you know, and we can't see because they're the blind spots, you know, they're the shadow, and we can't see like what we're doing. Then somebody's just like, hey, have you noticed this? Look at that, you know. And I really like, for myself as well, looking back, I had this very straight, direct teachers in my life, which were like, hey, have you seen this about yourself? And then it's like the ego crumbling and humbling myself again and again, you know.
Yeah, I think you need this, someone who's really should.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you as well, how you frame the questions. Like in the last few days, like you were asking me questions. You're a projector in human design, and we're supposed to ask questions. But the way that you ask them, they're very direct, you know? And what I love about it is just like, there is no room for interpretation or for like, oh, I'm gonna go into a story or I'm gonna sugarcoat this in any way. No, like why are you doing that? Why is and then you put the person on the spot, but at the same time you bring this nourishing energy afterwards, which is very beautiful. It's the masculine and the feminine. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So are you doing this now, right now? Are you professing or do something else?
Yeah. The change started with the therapist I was seeing, and I was really liking how he worked. And then I was back then also not sure about being a dentist. It was all right to earn money, but it wasn't like nourishing or fulfilling. And I think he was one reason why I changed a bit. I got curious in this work he was giving, and at the same time he is a therapist and he also offers courses. So in Germany, it's called Fortbildung, so you can learn something, how he does it. And yeah, I thought, yeah, I maybe do this course. I'm also a bit bored by dentistry. I need something new. So I was like, yeah, and I was always interested in the field of psychology. I was doing it like hobby-wise, reading stuff. And yeah, and then I started the course, which was half therapy for myself, but also it was in a group setting with people who were learning from him. And at the same time, I was learning the methods. And it was really nice. I had therapy with him. And at one point, I was seeing like, he's doing that with me. He's using this on me. And it helped me really to do it on my own also. If I had him not around or was in a situation where like, oh fuck, now something's coming up, I don't know what to do, I would think of him and like, oh yeah, take a breath in and out, and I could work with the methods on my own. And this made it even more curious to work with it. Yeah, I think that's when it started. So from then I start learning the methods I was interested in. Yeah.
So then tell me about your methods, like the methods that you learned with the guy and the methods that you approximately, like the methods that you use right now as well. If you have people that you're guiding, you're coaching, you do therapy with.
Yeah. The methods I learned from him was EFS, Internal Family System. We learned it. I really like. Before and with him, but I learned it also before, was working with the inner child. Then what I really like is family constellation from Hellinger. We also learned it like in 2 different ways, like in one-to-one sessions it's also possible, or with like people who represent. And we did a lot of energy work and somatic work, like how does it, it's not about what's your story or what happened or what's your trauma, it's more like concentrating on what's in the body now. How do you feel it now? Where is it? To have a connection to your feelings and emotions again, rather than understanding it in the mind, but nothing changes in your daily life. So this kind of work I really liked. It was also working in a group setting. So if you have people, they can be representatives, or you have your topic, but it's done with a person. It's not alone. You have a group, you have someone who's standing behind you, someone in front of you where you can project on, or maybe can put your anger on, or like your grief, you can show the stuff, and people are there witnessing it, and also the energy from the group goes in, and so all the maybe blockages or stuff which is stuck in your body can come out in it's a fascinating way, rather than doing it alone or in meditation or just maybe one-on-one with the therapist. So I also like this group, which can help bringing out stuff and releasing, solving it. What else? Then, but this was parallel. I had the therapy, and parallel I was working on, we were trying psilocybin mushrooms, like first recreationally, but then we were trying it like one is the one who's going on the journey, and the other person is the facilitator or looking after. And for me, this was really mind-blowing and changing, that you can go into this opened conscious, the subconscious opens up, and if you have this state and work therapeutically with it, that you can achieve so deep insights, and you can release grief, anger, trauma. You can give the facilitator pictures or like feelings, and you work on it. You're not alone. If something's stuck, you have someone who can put it in a way, help you, guide you to get rid of stuck feelings or emotions. Wow. That's when it started.
Yeah. I love how it's a blend of different systems coming together. And it's not just one thing, and you're not putting the client or the person that you're working with into a specific path of like, we're just working with IFS, but you kind of feel their energy and what they need in the moment. I think it's so powerful that you do that. And I love what you mentioned about you witnessing others, or you allowing yourself to be witnessed by someone else in your process, because that's just so important. I haven't been working so much with groups myself, but I recognize within myself, like with Vipassana, because I've done I've done like 3 Vipassana retreats. And in my Vipassana retreats, I've always we had the teacher to talk to every day. So it's not the Goenka Vipassana where you go for 10 days and you don't talk to anyone, you just do the meditation and you're by yourself the whole 10 days, but it's actually 14 days where you actually talk to the teacher every day and you report to him and you say like, hey, this is what's coming up. Like today I felt a lot of anger, or I'm going through this process, and he can witness you, he can hold space. And the fact that he's doing that, there's so much transformation, so much healing that is happening,
Yeah.
And after 14 days, you feel like I want to say you're a new person, but we're always new. We're always like rebirthing ourselves. But yeah, it's very important that you allow yourself to be seen, to be witnessed in your process, because it's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And for you to do that, and also with plant medicine, what you mentioned, psilocybin, but also like with other plant medicine, like it does open you up. It brings things from the subconscious, even unconscious and collective unconscious is just like coming up to the surface, and then you're there to, I've got you, you don't have to hold it all. You don't have to hold it all together, because a lot of women, I work with women, it's just like they're holding on so strongly. That's my story as well, just holding on, right? And so to allow myself to be seen and to be held is like, oh, but is it safe, right? So we're creating that. Yeah. So I love that for you. So we're right now in Peru. What brought you to Peru, actually?
We were when I had this journey with my therapist, and I was starting to change or to ask myself if I'm doing the right thing, like in dentistry and just in the wheel of earning money. I was questioning it. There was one point in my life I wanted to have a bigger journey, but I didn't do it because of my patience. And I had a father who was ill back then, so I had reasons to say, no, I'm not living my life now. I can't go. I need to be there. I need to be there for my, how do you say, chef, boss at work, like for other people, but not for me. But then during to this course and having my own family constellation and my own rebirthing experience and all these processes, I was on a point where I was like, no, I wanted to go into my future, not be stuck in a system, like in my family system or in my belief system. I wanted to go and do the stuff my heart was telling me. And that was, to go. It was somehow South America back then. And then it was Peru. And then I think on a psilocybin mushroom journey, I was like seeing a medicinal woman who was doing something. So I had the feeling, okay, I should go there. And then I was like, quitting my job and signed up for a ayahuasca retreat for 21 days.
Wow.
That was 2 years ago. So I was getting rid of all the stuff which doesn't serve me. And also I was really afraid of the approaching death of my father. So I needed some healing there too, to can cope with it. This all brought me to South America the first time 2 years ago. And and now 2 years later, I had this ayahuasca experience, which was really healing. And then we also ended up in being in PSAC to have some integration. And I felt like the first time I could let go, my father let go, because it was really in the stage of, okay, it was close to die. And so I had a lot of process and a lot of emotional healing received here, especially in the mountains. I feel the power of the mountains, of this grandfather energy, was really helping me to let go and still have the feeling, okay, even if when my father is gone, he's there. I had this trust. So it was some kind of also spiritual access feeling I received, and trust that everything will be all right. So this, I connect with this land here. And then we went on with our journey, went to India, then I got pregnant. and I was on maternity leave, and I was really thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to go back to dentistry? It didn't feel good. And then I started like trying to like come up with what I do back home is this one-on-one mushroom journeys, and yeah, help the clients with this therapeutical approach while doing it, but really gentle, not pushing, because I think I'm really humble to the power of plant medicine, in this case of the mushroom of psilocybin. So I just work as a, how do you say, a servant. Yeah, like I believe that the mushroom, the medicine itself, will heal, and I'm just there for like being there if it gets rough or, how to say, bumpy, and yeah, hold the space. And if I see something stuck or if I feel to guide, it's really a nice way of giving and serving. Yeah, that's, yeah, I feel like that's is kind of fulfilling.
Yeah, it feels like it's your soul calling.
Yeah,
like it's this higher purpose just knocking on your door. It was always there,
yeah.
and then spirit was leading you through different places, to receive the medicine. Beautiful. Wow, there's so many threads actually, like what you mentioned with your father, with the idea of identities shifting, with you becoming a mom, which is huge, right? Such a change. And then you also mentioned something about integration, and because you mentioned like you are trusting the spirit of the plant, to do the work, but you are there for the integration afterwards as well. I would love to explore that a bit. Just like, what does integration mean? Why do you think it's important? Like after you have this kind of journey.
Yeah. In my experience, the plant medicine is really powerful to show you where you maybe don't want to look, or which is really buried deep, and it can come up. But often I have the feeling, now I know it, but I don't know what to do with it. So I feel like the integration is important. So you deal with sometimes huge stuff, things you never had imagined before, what maybe you have forgotten, or could be really huge trauma, but you don't know what to do with it. And I think the integration is really important to have, like, to settle it down in your body, to bring it into the daily life. It's nice to have this all insights and this experience, but I think you don't benefit a lot if you go into daily life and it's gone, and you're back to, yeah, how do you say, 24/7. It's in German, like
24/7 daily reality,
daily life. Yeah, go to office, come back, and then you're again in this. Yeah, so it's really important to the gift you get from the plant medicine, to do something with it. To, yeah, what was she in? For example, Aya was showing me, how can I implement it in my life? Or where do I have to maybe look and like heal? What is that? I think she's doing a lot of healing, the plant medicine, but still we can't rely on, I take it and then everything will be fine. Because the reality is like, you're like overwhelmed with this experience, and it may be something where you like up here and with the spirits and think like, oh yeah, that's so nice, and in this world this is so nice, but still we are here on the earth in reality with all the society and all the things we have to deal with. So I think it's important to use that what you got to have a nice living here.
Ooh, I love it. I love what you mentioned with the grounding, like grounding it into that, as you said, 24/7. Because a lot of what we see here is the spirituality that is bypassing. It's just like, I'm going to a retreat, whether it's ayahuasca or psilocybin. It doesn't even have to be plant medicine. It can be just like meditation, yoga retreat. And then you have this opening, right? The opening of yourself, like the awareness and the consciousness is raising. And then you have to go back to your parents, or like you have to go back to the normal life, to your job. And that's so difficult for many people. And I feel that you get stuck maybe in this race, or the rat race, or the Also this wheel, you know, the wheel of samsara that just keeps going and going, because you go to retreat and then you go home, and then again you don't know how to integrate, you feel bad, you go to another retreat, right?
The next
to the next, exactly, either retreat or like a journey. So you're always kind of doing this,
like self-optimizing, but not really. There's no change. It's just optimized, but
exactly, you're not healing, you're looping. You know, it's just like, we're not healing, we're looping. That's very, I think it's something that I've been doing in Costa Rica as well. Like, and I didn't realize, you know, I didn't realize that I was on this. I left the matrix system, you know, like, oh, I was working in marketing and with this corporate, and then I had my spiritual awakening, and then I started my healing journey. It was just like healing, you know, never stopping, and just be like, okay, take a breath. Yeah, that's what happens. So when we think about this identity, you know, with the mother, with death, you mentioned like this very big subjects, right? Mother, birth, death, and also like the death of an identity and the birthing of a new identity. There is a threshold moment. There is this liminal space of in between, right? When you're neither this nor that, you know. I'm curious, like, how do you feel that for yourself? Like, because you are, or you were in the last, let's say last year, in the space of like in between. How did you feel? Like, were you accepting it, or were you nervous? Like, what was happening for you when you were in this space?
Oh, it's really hard to be in this place because there is something behind and something in front, and I'm really in between. Something from behind, like my past with the dentistry stuff, is pulling me back. When fears appear, like, oh, am I good enough? Should I do it? Why even you? So I tend to go back and go like, oh yeah, maybe I should stay with dentistry. It's safe. It's not terrifying. And on the other side, there's something calling, yeah, come here. It's nice. You can be creative here, and you can live like more colorful life with all the colors. Yeah. It's quite hard being in between. Yeah. I think it's still a process. I wouldn't say I'm actually on the other side and everything is fine now. And I also think that it will be always this process, but like it's nice to step by step put some old, I don't know, coats, and I call it coats now, down, and to see what's underneath. Experience what's underneath, and then if you feel safe, go take the next step, take it off. I think it's, you can put a bandage like really quickly, but then it can hurt, and maybe also not like, how do you say, sustainable. But if you give yourself time and like, do it step by step, and then it feels really okay. When I'm there, I'm really there.
I love that so much. I love what you mentioned with that it might always be this way, you know, because it is, because the only constant is change, and so we're always changing. And I feel that if we manage to become comfortable, right, with this state of in between, you know, we're always changing identities, and it's going to be so much easier for us, you know. But as you said, also a key word was safety, you know. And I think as a society, we're so used to having this kind of security, safety. This is who I am, right? I'm a doctor, as you said. I'm an engineer. I'm, you know, an accountant.
I have my degree.
It's very clear, right? It's like tuck, tuck, tuck. and from then on, I will be very safe in my life, you know. And I see this in older generations, right? And my parents, for example, for my parents, very difficult to understand how I live and what I do. But if you see life as that, as you said so beautifully, if you see life that it's always changing, and we're gonna have a lot of moments of in between, you know, and we get to be comfortable and trusting, right? I think trust is such a big thing, because also as women, I feel, you know, we like this kind of, oh, if I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna quit my job, you know, like if I'm just gonna follow my heart or follow what spirit tells me, then something, the shoe will drop. I don't know how to say,
Mm-hmm.
you're always with this anxiousness,
Yeah.
this restlessness, anxiousness. And so that's why I feel like the retreat that we're doing in approximately a month is really suited to this in-between phase, and what you said, like the band-aid, you can't just like rip it off because it's not sustainable. I'm paraphrasing what you said, but I think it's so beautiful because I see it the same way, like for example, if you go into a massive journey, let's say like with ayahuasca or something, it can destabilize your nervous system completely, but if you are in a space that is held and you go step by step and is gentle, and you have this integration time, then you can actually go home and you can make sense of your experience. You're not disillusioned and just like, what happened?
Flying somewhere.
Flying, and it's like then you want to grasp back, like I want to be flying again.
That's the thing. If it's not grounded, you want to fly again and again and again. So you change an addiction. That's what Raquel said beautifully. You come here and change an addiction with another.
Exactly.
Of feeling this maybe world of spirits and all the messages of Aya, but there's a part where we have to take responsibility and do something with the messages she gives us.
Yes, exactly. And it can be, addiction when it comes to plant medicine. It can be addiction to yoga. It can be addiction to meditation. It can be so many addictions, right? Especially when we enter this world of spirituality, and we work with that because what we're offering with the retreat is exactly the plant medicine, but also integration and meditation and everything in between, and grounding it down to group work plus the parts work IFS, and seeing that, you don't have to be alone when you go through an identity shift. Because I think you, or like definitely me, I was alone in a lot of my transitions, so when you're opening yourself up and nobody knows like what you're going through, it's just very destabilizing.
True. And you kind of can't go back because people saw how you can be. So it's not hidden. And you're less stuck in this in between. Because if it's witnessed, if you have shown it in front of other people and be in contact with your emotions, then it's so much easier to go out and show yourself.
Exactly. We're all on a journey. It's nice. And then we can go back, as you said, we can go back, we can just move forward, on the hero's journey, heroine's journey.
And we need each other.
That's why I love the fact that we're co-creating this experience, because to do something,
I can't do it alone.
It's like
so nice. It's always the community. Together we can create amazing stuff.
And we can combine our energies, our skills, and it's very nice. So what would you say to somebody that would be interested in this experience, like this 3-day retreat in Peru, Pisac, on the 20th to 22nd of February? What would you tell someone? Why should they join?
First of all, they should join if they feel a calling. So if it resonates with them, it's a good thing. So it comes naturally out of you, and not because it's there or I wanted to have it on a checklist. So it should be, that is a nice approach. And I think if you're really curious to see what is in you, what is deeply in you, if you, want to get to know you better, but also are a bit afraid of what can come up. So I really like holding the space and being there for grounding, and to be there so you don't have to go there through alone. And I think a very important part of it is the preparation, so that we talk about it before. Who are you? What is in your life? What are your intentions? Why are you doing it? Or if you, for example, have done Dieta or ayahuasca before, what was your intention? What was coming up there? So we process all these, and then we have a base to go with this on the psilocybin mushroom journey. to maybe deepen it and to come to places where stuff is stuck. And yeah, on the other side, we are there, or I am there, the facilitator are there, but also the group energy can be really nice, not to go through something alone, which is maybe hard.
I don't want to be biased, but like having kind of a one-on-one experience as well is something that is, I think, quite different from others, because the group will be small. And so to actually receive this preparation and to sit down with both of us and to share your story, like where are you in your process, like what is coming up for you, what is alive, what stage in your identity shift are you, the death process, the Nigredo, like where are you and what kind of support you need. Because we both have such different, I think, skill sets, but also very similar at some point, like it's kind of merging and converging. And then we let the magic happen. And I think that's what we have as well. Like we both share this kind of ability to trust the plans, to trust spirit, but at the same time to make it a very grounded experience, and not to have it airy fairy flying somewhere, but bring people back into reality. So I'm excited for the experience.
And I think it's really important that the participants have trust in us, and they can bring everything out. And I'm really also curious about what they bring with them. So it's not just you come, I hold it, and you go. I want as much as possible information I can get. So so the journey can be, what is begleitet?
Accompanied.
As
English is not our first language.
Second. I can be there.
Exactly. It's not about hand holding, it's about just witnessing the process.
I really want to know the intentions, so in order to help being on the path, because on a psilocybin trip you can go everywhere. The medicine can bring you everywhere, and it can be a nice journey, but my task is to remember what was your intention, what is coming up if I mention your intention, and then things will come up, and then we will see what happens. So to really work on the stuff you really want to, even though if other stuff come up rather than your intention, then these stuff are the things which wanted to be are on turn, or how to say it's more important that they come up, but it's also important on that way. So that is the gentle part. I don't force to stuck on the intention. We give the intention, and then we will see what we get. But work with that. And have a guidance.
That's very wise.
Let
me double check. I don't even know if I'm gonna.
You can cut it out because it was a bit bumpy, the last stuff I said, I think.
However you feel, but it's still going on. So I wasn't even sure. I was thinking like maybe I don't even cut this part out. Like me standing up, whatever. No.
Maybe authentic.
I'm curious. Like what would people, want to get out of this? Like a Q&A, like what kind of questions they would have when it comes to signing up for such an experience. Because there might be some hesitation or some fear when it comes to plans, especially if it's the first time, right? And especially like there's a group, so depending on where people are, like opening up in a group or having like things come out like that will be difficult. But I know like that we are both there to hold space for that. I mean, I work with Shame, you work like one-on-one and also with groups. I think we're gonna co-create something very safe. That's important.
You have the phase of everyone get to know each other. I think it's really important, so you feel safe not only with us but also with the participant in the group. And also working with honesty, how I feel with you. I think that's also really important. If someone is triggering someone else, that it should be really there, so we can work through it. So yeah, the goal is that everyone feels safe, but everyone also can speak the truth, and like is not overthinking, oh no, I don't like this guy or girl, but I don't want to be close to her or something. That we can have a space also for these kind of emotions to all unravel it, in order to go in a group session where we can support each other and benefit from each other, because we are, at the end, we are all one. Mm-hmm. And to feel this feeling, which you can have on psilocybin, but also to be to show your single part in it, and it's witnessed by the others, and or you can speak your truth and nothing happens. Mm-hmm. To witness this,
to co-create this shared space of truth and honesty. I love that. And I really feel that's one of the main pillars, because as you said, like the magic doesn't only happen with us, like it happens in the group. And I've seen it in my previous retreats as well. Like it was so on spot, like who will be there, and how they will mirror each other or trigger each other. So there's a lot of healing anyway happening with the personalities within the group. It's very beautiful to notice that. So I think that's like one of the values. And probably like a second value would be something that we said as well, which is the playfulness, the lightness of it, right? Can you share like why this is a value for us for the retreat, this lightness?
I think we often go into healing and process, and this is often really hard and tiring, and it also has some kind of, it's serious, sometimes really serious. And I think what is really helpful is being playful and humor, to also have a laugh, and not like I don't know, I can go like and say, oh yeah, that's bad and hard, like go into this, or I can make something light out of it. So it's much more easier to take it and like have lightness in your life. I think we are all on this healing and processing journey also in order to feel light, and to have like, everything is light, it's not heavy, to have this another feeling of lightness. It shouldn't be too sometimes a bit hard to explain maybe for me, but you can go in a really serious state where everything is really serious and you shouldn't laugh about it. But if you have a little bit as a comic relief in your trauma, in your history, it helps to like move forward with an easy foot, because you can identify with all this heaviness, and it can be a story, but it's also nice if you have this kind of comic relief to, life can be also easy, and I don't have to take it too serious.
I love
this approach.
And how you said about that, it should be a goal for us in life. It should be like, we forget, we should be light or lightness, like that was actually like my second tattoo that I've ever got in my life. It's ease. This concept of Vouvet is just like, like effortless living, but it's so hard to be,
it's so hard,
effortless, and to get into that state. But at the same time, like, we can remind ourselves, and we can remind each other, like, hey, take a break from the seriousness. Like, let's just laugh. Let's just put monkeys. Let's just like be weird and cringe. And who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter.
It helps. It helps so much to come out of the drama.
And out of the identity. Because this is like, ego identity is like this constriction of the nervous system. And that's where you like, okay, I'm right now the podcast host, right? Or I'm right now the facilitator. I'm right now the mother. I'm right now. So you get into all these identities. Doesn't have to be a woman, but like when I work with women, I notice these identities, whether it's about work or about where they are in life, and they hold on to it so strongly. If you just like let go a little bit, and and you'd be like, oh, I can actually play. I can play with these identities and put, the hats on, and you start to be this jester archetype and just like, huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think humor and laughing is a big part in our life, which heals too.
It heals so much. Laughter heals so much.
Yeah.
Laughter and crying.
Yeah.
Like these are two ways in which spirit is entering the body, Yeah. So thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Let me hug.
Wow, this was my first podcast.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Good, excited. I'm really afraid of, how is it called? Stage fear? I have
stage fright. Yeah.
Fright? Okay.
You were afraid.
I were afraid of stages. Yeah. But I think it's okay. I have it, and it's also human.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not perfect.
I mean, it would be weird, if we didn't have any anxiety or.
Yeah.
I think. I've read somewhere that, and this is like, I feel that it's so much close. It hits close to home, this idea of that how you treat how you deal with fear is not by having courage, but by having vulnerability. Because courage is literally just bypassing the exiles and the protectors, because the protectors are there, right? Like they don't want you to be humiliated, And so instead of bypassing, you're just staying with it. And
it's nice to ask the fear, why are you here?
Yeah.
And what is your task? And often it's like it wants to protect you of something.
Yeah.
So like a helper. It's also nice to approach this with not like, oh, I hate to be again, fear, and I hate it, and I don't want it. I want to be courageous, but seeing the function, or when did it help you? And, to become friends.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
One thing that I forgot to ask you for the podcast, which I asked before, was if there would be one thing that you would recommend. I don't like to say advice, Like, you'd recommend women to do right now. Let's say there are women who want to find themselves. They're like maybe in their 20s and they don't know who they are. They want to change identities and they're just like, I don't know where to start, to find my true self, to find my soul. What would you tell them?
Yeah, good question. Let me think. What was helping me to get in contact with my anger, because I always pushed it away and I stayed really friendly, even though people were like not treating me nice. Mostly also men, patriarchal men, which did this kind of thing. Oh yeah, little one. And I didn't respond to that. I was like, I was having this smile again. And what I learned, and what I would have liked to learn earlier, is to be in contact with my anger. Because anger is also needed to set boundaries and also to be my true self. And that people take me serious, especially in that case, men who thought like, oh, this little girl. Yeah. And really it felt like if I can express anger, it doesn't mean I go into rage and be like furious, but it led to be that I said, no, I'm not doing this with me. It's just simple. And it feels so good watching me in the mirror, like, yeah. And I felt like more like a woman. I think before I get to know my anger, I was often in a place where I was a child, and I was seeing the world with this child kind of view. So my boss was like the big boss, and he could do everything. I was like the little one, and I'm happy if he recognizes me. And yeah, but he also did say stuff which was not nice. And then staying up and giving him a word back, which was my own truth, it felt really good. So I think at the end, be in contact with your anger, be in contact with to set boundaries. Yeah. And it's like speaking up for yourself, and it feels so good because the truth is in you, and you see stuff happening which is unfair often, but you don't say anything. You just okay. I don't want to. I don't want to be the one who said something and is bullied afterwards. You just be quiet. But every time I was quiet, something died inside of me, and I became more and more what my therapist said again, a gray mouse. It tends to provocate, yeah. So becoming a colorful mouse or even a lion, it was a nice transition. Yeah.
Well, I hope we can do more of that work also in the retreat, to help women become colorful mice.
Yeah, I love it. I really love that. Seeing